This is People and Places, and my name is Shefik. I'm here, live, in person, at 26 Market Street, Storming Crab Restaurant in Ridge Hill. That is the place, and the person is Jahan Nostra. You've seen him around Mount Vernon, New York. You've seen him around Stamford, Connecticut, and right now you'll see him in Yonkers, New York. How you doing today?
Yes, sir.
Joining me today.
I'm doing well. Thank you, Shefik. I appreciate it. Nice to be here. People and places.
People and Places. You are in the incubation of this new show, so I thank you for being here. And we've known each other for a number of years now. We've seen each other at the Hip Hop Film Festival.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk about why you're here, first of all. Like, talk about your music. Introduce who you are, first of all.
What's going on, world? My name is Jahan Nostra. I'm a hip hop artist. I reflect reality, prove that I'm the illest, and uplift for the future with my music. I'm here just because Shefik is a good friend of mine and a great individual, but also I have a song called Dedication that I premiered today, which features Tamel Rex. Tamel, which is Rakim's son. Rex which is a highly, known hip hop artist out there. It premiered today on 24 Hip Hop, and we put it out on Spotify and everywhere. It's for my upcoming project, Violet Skies. This video has went through the film circuit, so it was in the Hip Hop Film Festival, among others. It won Best Music Video at the Golden Door, Best Music Video at Urban Media Makers, and it's a pretty respected video so far, and we're just releasing it now. And I've just been doing so many things. I'm on the cusp of so many things that I'm actually doing. That's the main thing today. But it was just coincidental that we were able to lock this interview in, and it's just like perfect timing. So that's the main reason I'm here.
Yeah, of course, today is in December 2021 that we're talking about now. And I do want to mention you are independent artists. You mentioned a lot of accolades, you mentioned a lot of work that you're doing right now, which is very commendable. For you to be someone who's independent and doing it independent all this time, how do you find the means and the resources to do it?
Great question. I got to find the strength first. The means and resources, though. I mean, I was signed to an independent label when I was 14 called BMX Entertainment. And they say that, when
the bicycles?
Yeah, no, it's pretty funny. Same name, but it was actually run by a guy named Morris Day. And he basically...
From the time?
Yeah.
Morris Day from the time?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, exactly. So basically, it kind of it was just a startup to what they were trying to do in the 90s and trying to, like, when hip hop was first starting. I was a 14-year-old kid putting out mixtapes. But the reason I say this is because you asked me how do I go about doing the resource stuff like that. When I was signed to that label for 2 years, from 14 to 16, I did put out a record. I played on college radio. I did a bunch of things. I was on vinyl. But one thing that I learned was just the ins and outs of college radio station, the mixtape scene. Hip hop at the time was a very independent thing anyway. Hip hop is an independent music, period, really. It's gone pop now, and it's grown. But it started off as independent. It was something we did in our own neighborhoods. So if you could find a way to get to the DJs, find a way to get to the mixtapes, what we call the mixtapes, I came from the mixtape scene as a late teen, then you could reach an audience of a good amount of hip-hop fans, rap fans. And I say BMX because how I'm able to sustain today is I understand that I learned the lessons of marketing promotion. I learned the ideas that a lot of the inside industry people had. And back then from doing it, there's people that remembered me. I was able to connect with a lot of those individuals. And in addition, I just started working, regular job. I worked at a hedge fund, Tudor Investment Corp, in Greenwich, Connecticut. I went to school and did different things. I went to UNC. So all through my life, I've just always worked odd jobs, CVS Pharmacy, whatever it was. And instead of putting my money into just Jordans or hoodies or different things, I put my money into my music, bought my own studio, home studio. I had in the video dedication, which is what it's about, being dedicated to your craft, you'll see a Dr. Rhythm 550 in the video, which is something from the 90s that I had. I had a home studio when I was, 15, and I learned the mechanics of how to record. And now, forget about it. You can record a sound that's almost, top-notch quality without even being in the studio. So, technology has advanced such. So when you look at BMX, I credit them because they started me on the independent route. So today, how do you do this as an independent artist? You got to work your butt off. You got to work twice as hard, but the freedom will give you the ability to kind of enjoy it. And if you connect with the right fans, you will get people to support you, especially online and beyond. And that's what I keep telling the kids. So that's kind of my explanation for that. If I could go into the details of everything in marketing, but that would be too long.
Yeah, well, you did mention a few things I want to get in detail about, a lot of key things. But first of all, I want to talk about something very important. You mentioned film festivals. Because when people think about music, especially independent music, they don't think about releasing their music video. And we're not talking about a music video, which is only like a few minutes long, in the film festival circuit.
Yeah.
What is the point of doing that?
Yeah. Great question. That was a marketing strategy. I mean, as well as my videos. Okay, so I'm into visuals, period. When I write my songs and how I started writing my craft, I saw visuals just as much as I saw the words. Mm-hmm. So when I wrote these songs, I had a visualization. Most of my videos, not all of them, but most of them I direct. So when I was looking at my videos and different videographers I was working with, Eileen, manager, and a lot of other of us, we put our heads together and we were like, no artist is really doing this. This is part of being independent, right? You got to be a hustler, right? But it's not only a hustle; it's being smart. I found that a lot of my music had great visuals. People tell me about my music when I get feedback from my fans. They say, "Look, I can see what you're saying." Most of the time when you're rapping, so that's just my particular style. That's not every rapper or MC. So with that being said, I was noticing I was getting a lot of love in my visuals, and a lot of people really, really were taken to seeing me, and also more importantly, seeing the stories. So a lot of times I have real actors. I'm recruiting people. I'm getting staff together. I have a DP. I worked with Kate, the creator, on this one, who is just a great videographer. She's worked with a slew of people. You can check her resume. It's extensive. But what I learned with the film festivals, to keep the point, was nobody was really doing that. Mine were like movies. They were like mini movies, narrations. And I also want to step on to where I'm a prolific writer and I start doing plays. I also went, and this is part of my independent grind too, I also went to, basically theater school. So I understand the art as a whole, not just rap music. So my understanding of that enables me to be very artistic with my visuals. And I knew if I went to film festivals, the way I was presenting these visuals, I don't think there were other artists, especially in rap and hip hop, that were presenting, like, my video Embrace the Rain about youth homelessness, which, follows Alex Mannion, across Brooklyn, New York, and he goes from being, a homeless guy to actually becoming, a hard-working executive or someone he met at a train station. These were small narratives that I could fit in a 4-minute, 5-minute slot. So I knew by submitting to film festivals, I just had something a little different. Plus, on top of that, it was great marketing because it gave me the exposure and ability to, and I've won, a lot. It's given me the ability at the hip hop film festivals and others to present my music to another audience, a totally different audience, the film, and TV audience of people. And I've always had very good, skills with acting, visuals. I took those classes.
Yeah, I mean, I understand the marketing side of it, and it's a great strategy to open up to new audiences, not only from your perspective to see your music in new dimensions, but also in the festivals themselves to have different kinds of content to diversify. But I'm just wondering, because traditionally, festivals are there for either acquisitions, we're talking about networks, talking about film studios, things like that. They're there to acquire content. Right. That's one of the primary contents. Yeah. Another thing is maybe they want to screen content that maybe is not fully developed yet. Maybe you just have a pitch or something. Maybe you just have a partial video shot or film shot, and you want to find additional funds and investors, things like that. From the business side of it, what have you gained from that? What you mentioned is the marketing side of it, which is great, but what's the business side?
Yeah, the business side is, in addition, I hope to as well. I mean, I want to do a full-length independent movie. A lot of these movies can be turned into full-length movies. A lot of these videos, because I already have scripts and ideas written, but my thing is execution, and you have to crawl before you walk. So the way I go and hit this, everything is who you know, right? So once I start doing this, people look, and they're like, oh, okay, he actually has something to offer. We're seeing a snippet. You want to work with me? This is what I really have to offer. Here's this, here's that. Ice Cube started off as a rapper. So people do not, a lot of people. Will Smith started off as a rapper.
Right.
Mark Wahlberg,
Queen Latifah,
the list goes on and on. Yeah, I like to mention Cube because I see myself more. I love the fact that he produces and writes the movies. That's what I'm about. I mean, he got real good mentorship from John Singleton.
Yeah.
So when you look at stuff like that, Ice Cube's one of my favorite rappers, by the way. So when I look at these things, also his music was always visual from when he was with NWA. Even though not everyone could relate to it, it was quote unquote gangster rap. The ideas and the way he conveyed it, a lot of people don't know that Cube went to UCLA for a little while. His parents were actually college professors. So getting that understanding and understanding that, I knew that, okay, how can I take this to the next level? So I think what I get out of it is, like you said, it is usually, to me, it is a commercial for something bigger. And it gets you get a chance to showcase your acting skills as well. Not only me, but let's say a guy like Alex Mignon, who's gone on tour with Logic and a slew of other people who acted in my video Embrace the Rain. He wasn't as big as he is now. Now he's like super huge, but he acted first in like one of my videos. This new guy got Stan Adams in my video Embrace the Rain. I mean, he's done all kinds of great acting roles. And the merging and the ability to do it is like, okay, if he can do it on this level, maybe we could trust him with a budget. Maybe we can help him out eventually. So I think what I've gotten out of it, as aside from the marketing or things that from a business aspect, is definitely that ability to say, look, guys, here's something. I can do something bigger if I get the chance.
There is one key thing that you didn't mention yet. It's music sync licensing.
Of course. Well, that's my main.
So you're there demonstrating that you have actually apply your music to visuals in front of a film audience and television audience at these festivals, which is key. Right. Not only just trying to get maybe film deals yourselves, but also license your content in a meaningful manner.
Right.
No. Plus, gets revenue.
Yeah, definitely. That's probably my number one. Thank you for bringing that in. Because when it comes to scoring and soundtracks, I think people forget, especially in today's climate of music, sync licensing is huge. I mean, I just did a show sponsored by NBC Universal, with Ludacris. I mean, understanding how to get your music in with companies that can give you placements for, so you can get paid in perpetuity. You basically have to be able to get past mostly a lot of these movie people. And let me tell you, they're more likely to work with an independent artist than they are with a major artist.
So why is that?
Why that is, and I've actually read on this, this guy Ari, who does sync licensing is his thing. He talks about it all the time. Shout out to Ari. I watch his YouTubes. And the reason why is because, well, there's numerous reasons, but as usual, a lot of times it comes down to finances. A lot of big artists that are on record labels, there's not going to be too much compromise in the contract. You got the labels behind them, you got the lawyers. They're going to be like, look, this is our price, okay? We can back that. We can give you a little of this, but we're not backing too much far from this. You come with an independent artist, especially one that knows their music, he or she knows it great, sound quality is there, everything. As long as it's original music, particularly, you got to stay away from samples and stuff. But you get that, they're more inclined to work with the independent artists, and I've heard these from people that do placements, by the way. Ari did one with a guy from Walt Disney, and he did one with another woman. And basically, they said that the indie artists are a little easier to work with, not only financially, but also they usually have the music that is undiscovered. The music that people, it's not exposed to everybody. They want something exclusive when it comes to the sync licensing. That's the main thing. They want to know, they want to feel special. This is for us. This was fine-tuned, catered to us. And that, for me, is going to be my biggest thing. And that's what I'm going to be working on. As you heard me confess that a couple of times. As this time goes on, that's what I'll be working on heavily in my immediate future. and you know, I kind of keep it on the DL, but it's something. It's a lane that a lot of people, you know, sleep on, especially today, because there's not really no money in streaming. I just released a song today. I mean, there's a lot of great things in video, a lot of great things in other things, but you know, with streaming and stuff like that, you got a lot of income and residual income cut in half, if that, probably less than that. So the key is, how can I leverage what I can do off of my discography, my catalog, and be able to put it in something a lot bigger. And then you got that thing spinning, you know, continuously. You got royalties coming in all day. Forget the radio. I'm trying to score, you know what I mean? That new Ghostbusters. Let's see what's up. You know, you guys put me on, man. For real. Jahan, come see me.
Right. You know, and I can attest to that because obviously people have seen a lot of shows on MTV, especially the CW, these teen types of drama shows, not necessarily just about hip hop too, all genres, alternative music, pop music. At the end of it, they actually showed a clip of the album cover, single cover, and say, here's the independent artist.
Right.
And they usually do the independent artists because they have smaller budgets to work with. Even though they're going through major companies, it's smaller production companies that actually make the shows.
Yeah.
And that makes a difference about that. So the festivals, you can definitely meet them there. They're there for that. That's what it's for. So great marketing strategy, great business strategy all the way around.
Yeah.
So your song dedication, of course, you're dedicating to your craft of hip hop. You're dedicating to your love of it.
Yeah. At
what point do you want to have that love reciprocated?
That's a good one. I mean, you know, all you can do is love something, and then you got to see if it's going to love you back, right?
Yeah, but I mean, people have been in very toxic relationships.
Yeah.
So I wanna make it clear: are you in a toxic relationship
with hip hop? Oh man, that's a good question. For me, because I can tune out so many things, I would say not, but I have my moments where I feel like I am. I mean, I can say that because I'm not going to say it's easy, but I'll say this. When people come to me, especially fans of Corey, say, you know, Jahan, you know, one of the biggest things I get from my fans and people that, you know, especially mature people, older people too, they're like, man, thank you. Because we're in a climate now where there's so much of garbage and continuous negative content and the bubbles of misogynist individuals and dirt this, street this, your mother this, you know, and they're like, for bringing what I call essence hip hop to the forefront, people love it, you know, I get that back, you know. It doesn't always pay from a financial standpoint, but then again, sometimes it does. I believe one of the reasons I was chosen for Alive at 5 recently, September 30th, which is the biggest event in Stamford, Connecticut.
Yeah, so people know it's a concert, music festival, and you open up for Ludacris.
It's been going on since 1996. Since I was a kid, baby, I've seen Live at 5. If you live in the town, that's where you want to be. So in addition to Luda being there, who's one of the biggest artists we've had, it's already a great event. You're already going to get 4,000, 5,000 people, easy. But I believe part of my content, I mean, of course, my city chose me and stuff like that, but no hip hop artist has ever really been on there from the city. So the question you got to ask is, how does that mold get broke? How do you know, become a pioneer or a trendsetter or whatever? I think by just staying true to yourself and the authenticity. I think the dedication and the authenticity, and more importantly, the positive aura and vibe that comes with my music, I think that's part of the reason I was chosen. You know, I don't think it was. If it was typical, you know, gangster rap or street rap, whatever you want to classify it as, I don't think there would have been a chance.
But you know, you said something interesting a few minutes ago. You mentioned Essence Music.
Yeah.
So what is that really? Are you really looking at Essence magazine and you're getting very emotional, getting the headlines, and these are the stories
Shout
you want to tell?
Essence Mag, you know, all the black people. I respect Essence, but when I say Essence, I'm talking the real term.
All right.
And Essence, people will say, take you back to the essence, the core. That's traditional. Traditional hip hop was started by Kool Herc to get the people out of the streets and actually party so there would not be violence, not to perpetuate violence. The perpetuation of violence was brought in by the big executives to make money in the music business. Gangsta rap, quote unquote, didn't come to the 90s. I hate that terminology. I think it's real rap. Because I listen to artists that are from the streets, and I listen to artists that are pop. I listen to all types of artists. I have friends that I listen to that are from all types of different backgrounds, different type of musical backgrounds. But the essence to me is hip hop at its core, not a commercialized version, but in essence just meaning the real music, authenticity.
But when you say when it's not commercialized, then you give the connotation as if it's not profitable.
Right, which is not true. So when I say not commercialized, you have to commercialize everything to a degree in order to sell it. But there's not a formula that's given by the record industry to commercialize. That to me is rap. Hip hop is something you do. B-boy, MC, DJ, graffiti artist, that's hip hop. So then you have rap, which is it's like, look man, maybe you need to rap about this, you rap about that. You could be a great rapper and a great MC and come with the essence music and still have the ability to market it and be fine. But the fact is, they teach us that, well, this is what sells, that's what sells. And I'm saying it's not necessarily true. There's a niche market, if you will, for essence hip hop. Why? Because they've so much tried to block essence hip hop. People want it. The real people in their 20s and 30s and 40s, they want it because they're like, yo, what happened to it? But they don't realize that there's kind of been a little switcheroo of what we want to do. All things are marketable. We can market ketchup. You can have ketchup right here. It's all about how it's marketed. So nobody can tell me, oh, well, you need to market this. You need this type of, you can take out the substance and trust me, it's going to be easy to market. People are dumb. I think people sleep on the masses, and I think the masses are craving for essence hip hop. So do I have a toxic relationship with hip hop? No, I think I have a loving relationship and it loves me back at times. I do find times where it's like, but that's why I work and do other things as well. So that I don't have to feel like, I'm just like, hip hop is going to make or break me. And if not, I'm not. If I don't sell this song, then I'm not going to make it anywhere. The key is to love what you do what you love, and everything else will come, and then you will last forever. There's nobody that can take it.
Yeah. So there's of course many facets of hip hop, the way people perform. There's gangster rap, as you mentioned. There's even today mumble rap, trap, things like that.
It's all dope.
Because people haven't heard you as of this interview, during this interview. What kind of sound comes from your music?
I would say, people, I don't believe too much in categories. A lot of people like to call me lyrical, call me conscious. I think my sound is soul, hip hop, R&B, and essence rap.
Well, I want to make that clear to the audience too, because if you follow the trends on TikTok and things like that, there's a thing called Island Boys.
Right.
I want to make sure, are you one of the Island Boys type of sound, or are you, as you mentioned, someone like Ice Cube sound or something like that?
I think I'm a combination. Some people would say, I'll name some artists I've been compared to. I've been compared to Tribe Called Quest. I've been compared to someone new, J. Cole. There's been comparisons to, people like Nas, I had a guy who I just did a song I released called Ungrateful. He says I sound like a mixture between Nas and Cameron. So it's lyrical music over soulful, jazz, essence, black music, and world music, I'll say. There's, as far as Cube, it would be maybe more of my lyrical approaches in some songs, maybe, but overall I'm probably more like a comic than a Cube, people would say, or if you want to use a rap artist. And it crosses over to soul because, I've done collaborations. I usually do collaborations with big soul artists like Omar Wilson, Samara Gibson. There's a lot of people that I've done, songs with, and I prefer, them on the song. One of the biggest artists and a big inspiration to me that people probably compare me to is probably Tupac Shakur. And if you look at Tupac, you know, he's a rapper, but he's a poet, and he had a lot of melodies and singing. Like I write a lot of the hooks. I can't sing, but I know not. I'm not gonna get on there and sing it myself and try to use auto tunes. That's just not my way. You know, and I don't like nobody that does that. Shout out to those cats that do that. But I'm into pulling that real soul and letting you know, look, this traditional. And I'm not even that old, so the real reality comes into where that's just what I like. And that's just what merges well with my music. And I think that's why my music crosses other genres. You know, I have a band, you know, I work with Southwind, a lot of people. Like when we come together to do it, we get the really good gigs because we can play a soulful spot, as well as I can go by myself with a DJ and go rock some hole in the wall street club. I can do that as well. So, I mean, but overall, that's why I say soul, you know, jazz and hip hop fusion. You know,
the way I'm hearing you say this and interpreting it is, first of all, you're delivering content and music with clarity, right? We can understand the words and delivery in it.
Yeah.
Second of all, you're delivering it with purpose. You know, there's purpose in the words, purpose in you having, obviously, the love for hip hop and dedication for it, but also why you have the delivery of the words and you want to have a lasting impact. Because you mentioned a lot of artists who made like late 80s and 90s sort of feel, kind of thing, right? And which is very important too, because you're giving homage to that sort of era.
Besides Cole.
Besides Cole. Yeah. But it's very important, and I think, you know, I commend you for the work that you do and your dedication and love for hip hop. But where do you see yourself in the future? Because there's only so many times you could, you know, sit around and say, I love hip hop. You know, and wear the dedication hat and sweatshirt. But it's like, okay, what's next then?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, well, right now I'm trying to move into the music and the movie industry a lot more in the background with sync licensing, not necessarily being just a hip hop artist. I like to write. Writing is in the future for me. I want to be a writer that you don't have to, you know.
Screenwriter.
Yeah, a screenwiter, but a prolific writer, period. But screenwriter is first as far as the next step. But I also could see whatever my screenwriting can be a novel, it can be parts of a video, and it can be a big movie. As long as it's writing and I'm behind it. I look up to people like Mark Twain or, you know, somebody, like, Shakespeare, or then we'll go up to somebody like the Hughes brothers, just as much as any rapper, you know, or anything like that. I'm a writer at heart. So ghostwriting is also in my background. I've done some of it as well. I'm definitely not just me as an artist, because a lot of kids get that confused. They're like, you know, because a lot of people like the spotlight. I'm pretty good with that, obviously, but like that's not really why I do it. But I get a lot of love from doing that and perform my own stuff. But I've written for a lot of people that people don't know. A lot of independent artists. I've written for a billionaire who did some work with his kids at a play at rap. It's like there's a lot of things that I've done in the background that, you know, I have watched and been like, wow, that execution was great. And my ability to do that and see that come to life, I like just as much, if not more, than myself. I also write R&B. I also write soul. And I write all the parts primarily, mostly in any of my songs. You see me collaborate with someone. So, you know, I want to do that as well. I enjoy doing that. I enjoy just being a part of hits, writing teams. I can go in, you know, Dream is good at that. You go in, boom, this is what you write. Okay, boom, 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 boom. Go ahead, Rihanna, pick that up. You know what I mean? That's my vibe too. And I could do that when I'm 70 years old. I can do that when I'm 60. You look at the Isley brothers right now, and I mean, just look at them. I mean, they went from, you know what I'm saying, twist and shout, you know, between the sheets, and now they're like, you know, he's shit in the background. Ain't no room that Mr. Biggs can't walk up in and write in the background for somebody. Look at Babyface. He's also a big idol of mine. You know, a lot of rappers, I'm not going to mention Babyface, but I would, because I know the Face Records was put together by him and L.A. Reid in the 90s, and I realized that Babyface wrote all the hits on that label.
They also had like Goody Mob and
Outkast. Usher. Yeah. So they did, but overall, the big thing I was always impressed with was Babyface's pen. His pen is what I admire. What I admire is the pen. The pen's mightier than the sword. All this stuff, my my videos, my treatments. I researched how to do a treatment. You know, nobody was doing videos for me, so guess what I did? When I was in school, I researched what a treatment was. I wrote the treatment, and I said to the video, this is what I want to do.
Right.
And that's how I started getting into doing my own thing. So overall, I would say I see a lot of writing in my future.
Yeah. So I certainly look forward to seeing more of you in the future, and hopefully, as you age, you'll get that Ron Isley look with the gray beard and everything like that, looking smooth.
I'm still straight right now. Yeah, we get you there. Yeah.
But in the meantime, where can people actually purchase your merchandise? Because that's important too. Right?
Yeah. This has been going great. I'd love to I'm getting into fashion as well, guys. The merch can be purchased at Jahan Nostra's Etsy shop. You can go to Jahan Nostra everywhere. That's Instagram, Facebook, wherever you want to go. And my Etsy shop is primarily in the link in my bio. But if not, just go to Jahan Nostra Etsy. You can Google it. Once you go to my Etsy shop, these are the new dedication hoodies and hats for my, it's basically, a celebration of my new song, Dedication. But dedication is not only about me being dedicated to my craft. It's whatever you do. If you're a champion, one thing the greats all have in common is dedication.
Yeah.
So if you're dedicated to something, you're going to see some results. So this one becomes something that's big for everyone. So you can get that here along with other Jahan Nostra merch, green tea series. We have the blue, the Connecticut Blue Live of 5 shirts we just dropped. I mean, there's a lot of merch on there. Jahan Nostra, Etsy. And, I guarantee there's something on it for you. We got tea mugs. We got, we got pendants. We got hoodies. We got, t-shirts. We got hats. We got so many things, a variety of so many things, and I guarantee there's a piece for you, man.
All right.
Shefik, we appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Yonkers Voice, everybody, people and places, Jahan Nostra, I'm from Stamford, Connecticut, Mount Vernon, New York, and I want to shout everybody in YO out. I have my producer here. This is like one of my second homes. So I love this area, and I just love being here, and I hope to inspire. And that's what I try to do, is inspire the next person and the next people coming up, trying to progress.
All right, appreciate it.
Thank
So
you.
once again, people and places, follow us. You see where the journey takes us next.
People and places, peace. Yes.